Did you know that 63% of people are living paycheck to paycheck? Look, I get it. You're trying to get ahead, make more money, and ultimately free up more of your time. But you keep being lied to by all of these gurus who are telling you to start dropshipping stores, get into the agency space, maybe coaching and course creation, affiliate marketing, and all these inconsistent side hustles that you see on TikTok and Instagram. And these blatant false claims that come along with these things, like it's easy to start, it doesn't take too much time, this can work for everyone, you just need a laptop, you don't need any experience, everyone can be rich, just do the work and get results. Well, I call bullshit, because this stuff doesn't work out as well as everyone is claiming it to. They're selling you a pipe dream, because 81% of online businesses fail in the first year. These are the facts. And maybe you feel like there's only really two pathways for you to take. Either you go and get a soul-sucking 9-to-5 job, or you start these inconsistent, unprofitable businesses or side hustles, but they both ultimately lead you to the same place, where you are overworked, underpaid, stressed, and fearful of your future. What if your job isn't actually the thing that's holding you back like all of the gurus claim it is? What if it's actually the key to your freedom? See, with your current skills, you are actually closer than ever to doubling your income and halving your working hours. And in this video, I want to reveal to you how that is possible using a simple 3-step process. But you're probably wondering, who the heck is this guy? My name is Tom Wedding. I'm 24 years old, originally from Australia. For the last 8 months, I've been traveling around the world full time, going to places like Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Bali, Thailand, and many, many more places. And I'm able to do this because I have 3 remote jobs that I work simultaneously that bring me in $210,000 per year, all while working less than 20 hours per week. But it wasn't always like this. Back in December of 2019, I started my first coaching business. And at first, I was putting a lot of hours in, about 10 hours per day, and I would often stay up till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning trying to make this business work. And I did this for 2.5 years straight. And I was able to make about $105,000 over those 2.5 years online, working my coaching business. And after all the staff expenses, tax, and the cost of living, I was still barely getting by. And I started a second business model to try and make things different, make more money, and be a bit more successful. But again, I struggled to make a living while simultaneously trying to build a sustainable long-term business. And after failing horribly with a third business attempt, I was feeling pretty helpless. And that's when my bank account hit negative. And I knew that something had to change. And so that's when I went out and I found an office job for $60,000 a year. And I absolutely hated it. And in fact, I hated it so much that I used my previous business experience to outsource my workload to a virtual assistant. My virtual assistant worked 4 hours per day, leaving me just 3 hours of work to do per day. And that's when I had an idea that would change everything. If I was only working about 3 hours a day, couldn't I get a second remote job? And within just 3 months of having that thought, I had myself 4 remote jobs. I went out and smashed applications and interviews, and I was able to land those 4 jobs in just 3 months. And now all of a sudden I was working about 30 hours per week. My virtual assistants were doing a lot of the work for me, and I was surprised at how easy this was. I'd literally tripled my income in less than 90 days without needing any new skills, any investment monetarily, and any massive time input, really. And so I want to share some stories of other people who are doing this as well to show you that this is very achievable for everyone. You can see there's some comments here in the Discord community I'm a part of, and this person at the top said, second job secured at 140K, gonna be taking home over 250K per year now, which is more than double than what they would have been making with just one job, right? They've literally gone and doubled their income just by going and getting that second job. And you can see how powerful this is. This second person here, you can see job number 1 is bringing them in 95K. They're 5 months into that. Job number 2, 115K. Job number 3 is $40 an hour. So they're making well over double what they would be making if they just had settled for one job, one dead-end job, right? Same with this person at the bottom. 2 weeks of job 2, never felt more financially secure. In another 2 weeks would be beginning of my last week at job 1 and first day of job 3, but will be earning 2.5 times the current of job number 1. So they've literally gone and earned 2.5 times more than they were earning in their first job by getting these other 2 jobs that they were able to balance. So are you curious to know this method to make over $200,000 all while working less than 20 hours per week? Well, I call this method the leveraged method. It's a 3-step method to simplify, automate, and delegate within multiple full-time remote roles so that you can manage them all at the same time and earn multiple incomes. And this is what's called overemployment. It's a rising trend of people juggling multiple remote jobs at once due to the rising cost of living as well as the increase in debt being taken up. A lot of people are finding the need to make more income more important than ever. And so remote work has allowed the opportunity to create overemployment and make it more common, where people can get multiple jobs, work them online, and make multiple incomes. And again, I want to show you a couple more case studies of people who are doing this. You can see this person, job 3 came in today. Now I have 50K base on job 1, 178K on job 2, and 250K on job 3 for a total combined income of 478K, which is just incredible. You can see if they literally just stuck with job 1, they would only be making $50,000, but now they are making $478,000, which is like 5 times, I think a bit more than 5 times what they would be making if they just stuck with job 1. So pretty incredible there. This person is working 8 jobs, which is pretty insane, pretty ridiculous to juggle that amount of jobs. You would obviously be putting a lot more time in, but the income reward of that is pretty lucrative. If you have a large debt to pay off, if you have a mortgage to pay off, this can be a great way to do it. Even if it's temporary, working 8 jobs for a few months can give you a ton of extra income to pay off debts and save extra money. So these are people who are doing this. There are tons and tons of people who are moving into overemployment because it is so much easier than any other thing like side hustles and starting businesses. It's so much more simple. Everyone can get a job. Everyone knows how to go out and apply and get a job. It's very, very simple to do that. The hard part is with the leveraged method, which I'm about to walk you through, which is going to show you how to actually simplify, automate, and delegate to free up your time within these jobs that you get. All right, so let's go into the leveraged method where we're going to talk about these 3 steps: simplify, automate, and delegate. Let's dive in. First step, simplify. This step is all about getting clear on the purpose of your role. So in your remote job, you want to think about what is the ultimate outcome of the work that I do, right? How can I keep my managers and my boss happy? What are their expectations of me? These are all things you want to ask and get clear on so that you can then move on to the next thing, which is to define your daily, weekly, and monthly workload. So what are those tasks that you're doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? And then we move on to the next thing, which is you keep the important tasks and optimize those tasks, make them more simple. And then you kill any tasks that don't need to be there, that don't really contribute to the ultimate purpose of your role. And then you can change tasks as well to make them easier or change them around to different ways of doing things, right? Then you really want to optimize your schedule as well. So just making sure that you're really streamlined. This is when time management and those kinds of skill sets come into play to really simplify your workload and make sure you're balancing everything right. Then we move on to the next part of this, which is automate. So this is finding automation tools that can be used to streamline your workload. So any task that you do that can be done by automation tools basically removes you from the process, right? So you don't have to physically be there doing the task. You can have an automation tool to do that task for you, right? And you want to find as many of those tasks that you can automate because the trade-off in terms of the tools and the costs of some of these tools is well worth it because it saves you a ton of time, especially once you have multiple jobs at the same time. Then you want to really streamline these processes, combine them, make sure they're very simple. and you want to manage, optimize, and refine that process as you go along. So if you find any new things that you can automate, you have some new projects from your boss, you want to make sure that you're utilizing those tools to automate as much as you possibly can. And then we can move on to the third step, which is to delegate. This is my favorite part by far. I absolutely love using virtual assistants. It makes life a whole lot easier leveraging them. So the first thing you want to do is get clear on SOPs, which are basically standard operating procedures that are going to show your virtual assistant how to do specific tasks. And then you also want to create resources that are going to help them to fulfill your work for you as well. And then you want to go out, find, interview, and select a virtual assistant, onboard them, train them using that SOP, and then manage them ongoing, update the SOPs, refine. And yes, I get a lot of questions about virtual assistants in the workplace. Technically, a virtual assistant is a subcontractor to you to help you fulfill your duties as an employee. So it's not illegal in any country. It's not illegal. Because they count as a subcontractor, and I would always have a virtual assistant sign an agreement before they commence work with you. I tend not to tell my boss or employer about my virtual assistants. I prefer to do it that way. Some people like to tell their bosses, and their bosses are open to it, but it's really up to you how you want to go about doing that. But yeah, that's probably the most common question I get is it illegal to get a virtual assistant to do my work? It's not. There's no law that states that. They're technically a subcontractor under you, so it is totally legal. As long as you get them to sign the right agreements, you are good to go. So that's pretty much the leveraged process. Now, I kind of want to quickly walk through who is this actually for, like who can implement this process. So it's really for two main people. If you already have a remote job, this is going to be the most ideal thing to implement as soon as possible, because it's going to give you the freedom to go out and get a second job if you want to do that, to double your income and also work a lot less, right? And if you just have a regular 9-to-5 job, maybe you're working in an office, this will work for you as well. I've done this in an office job, like I said earlier. I got that office job and I got my virtual assistant to do my work. And so most of the time I was sitting in the office not doing any work. So it's definitely possible for people who have a office job as well. But obviously remote job is where it's at because you can have multiple. It gives you location freedom, especially if you want to travel like I'm doing right now. It makes it very, very easy to do that. So that's that. So yeah, like I said, if you already have a remote job, implement the leverage method to free up your time, and then you can go out and apply to second remote jobs, get some interviews, get some offers, and choose the best one. And then you'll be working less with 2 jobs than you were with 1 job, plus you're making 2 income streams now. So you've literally doubled your income and halved your working hours by implementing the leveraged method. So I hope you can see how this works to half your hours and double your income. And it's really, really lucrative. And then if you don't currently work remote, you can fix your resume, decide on some roles you want to go after, start applying and land a remote job, and then you can implement the leverage method to be able to take on a second job. Again, like I said, you can do this if you have a 9-to-5 job and you're working in the office. It's definitely possible. And yeah, super achievable. So now you know the keys to financial and time freedom, and it's actually a whole lot simpler than going out and starting a business or going into all of these weird side hustles. And it's a lot more effective, consistent, easier to do, doesn't require you to invest any money, just a little bit of your time to send applications and apply to remote jobs. And then obviously learning a bit more about virtual assistants and SOPs and how to manage that. And you're good to go. Then you have complete time and financial freedom. You can travel like I'm doing at the moment. You can really just spend more time with your family, doing hobbies, doing whatever you want to do, because you have the time back that you've bought back with the virtual assistant, and then you've also got more income coming in, which gives you more freedom in life too. And if you're serious about making a change and you want guaranteed results, I want to introduce to you the Leveraged Community. This community has the single goal of making freedom accessible to everyone. How do we do this? By giving you access to these 5 things. First is a supportive and interactive community. Then we give you access to 2 courses, the Remote Ready course, which is going to help you to find remote jobs, and the second course, Automate and Delegate course, which is going to help you to implement automation tools and delegate your work to virtual assistants. Then we have weekly live expert trainings where we get different experts on to learn new things and new topics. Then we have weekly Q&A support calls where you can have all of your questions answered and get the support that you need to move forward with certainty. So what this looks like, we have the community platform where you can interact with other like-minded people who are on the path of chasing freedom, and you can get the support you need. You can ask questions. We have a community chat. You can even get reviews on your resumes and different things like that. So this community is a great place to get the support and accountability that you need to take action. Then we have the Remote Ready course, which is a course that's going to teach you how to go out and find remote jobs that match your skill sets, how to land interviews with those remote jobs that you're applying for, and then how to get hired for these remote jobs. You're going to get the various resources in this course, including a job application tracking sheet, our 17 top performing resume templates, a video intro example that you can model, as well as access to 18 remote job boards that post new remote jobs every single day. All this is going to help you to effortlessly land remote jobs like clockwork. Then we have the Automate and Delegate course, which is going to help you to simplify, automate, and delegate your workload so that you can remove yourself from your work and take on multiple remote jobs. The resources we're going to give you in this course is a VA hiring post template, interview scripts for hiring and onboarding virtual assistants, plug and play SOP templates that you can use, and a VA time tracking sheet. All of this is going to help you to at least half your active working hours. Then we have weekly live expert trainings. This is when we get experts in various different fields around tax, around remote jobs, around travel, around all these different topics, and we get these people onto these interviews to share new strategies, new topics, and deep dive into specific things that are going to help you to learn and grow and evolve. Then we have weekly Q&A support calls. These are the support calls that we jump on Zoom and we get everyone in from the community. We chat, we ask questions to each other, and we help and support each other. We also have a results guarantee to back up everything we're giving you here. So if you don't land at least one remote job in the next 60 days, we'll coach you one-on-one completely for free until you do. And if you still can't achieve this outcome after 120 days, we'll give you a full refund for wasting your time because we're so confident you'll succeed with our trainings. The total value of this program, of this community, is $5,885. The regular price we charge is $297 per month, but you can get exclusive access today for $97 a month. This offer is totally exclusive to this page. You won't find this anywhere else, and this is a limited time offer as well. You'll see a timer if you scroll down the page of how long is left for this offer. So jump in while you can. You're $97 away from landing remote jobs that pay you anywhere from $50,000 to $120,000 per year. You're $97 away from a life of freedom. A life where you can live on your terms, where you're in control of your life, where you can get away from the desk and be location independent, where you can work from anywhere in the world, where you can work less and live more, where you can make more money than you ever have in your life and reduce your financial stress. You can hit your financial goals easier. You can save, you can invest, you can spend more than you ever have, and you can just experience life exactly as you want. This community offers you a proven pathway to get there in the next 90 days or less. And I want to share some stories of some of the people who have gone through this training. We have Aiden here, who was able to take on multiple full-time remote gigs and quit his office job. And he said this, he said, game changer, never doing office again. We also have Kaya here, who was able to quit his job and go completely remote. And we inspired him to be able to make that shift and showed him the process to get remote work. And he was able to quit his office job that he was working and go completely remote. Then we have Sharian here, who again is taking a lot of value from the calls that we were doing for the community, and also some more value from the calls. And another person who also got a remote job offer who starts on the 21st, and they were able to go from office job to working completely remote. So don't wait any longer. Join the community below. There should be a button you can click It'll take you to a page where you can create an account, and then you will enter your card details and sign up. And from there, you'll have instant access to the community, all of the courses, all of the resources, and instant access to everything that's in the community platform. You can also download our app. We have an app that you can download to access the community on your phone, as well as on computer and desktop as well. So I wanted to share a couple more stories with you of people who are succeeding with this model. So you can see the person at the bottom here, they just took on a third job. They've been doing this for 3 months now, and you can see with all of their 3 jobs combined, they're making $200,000 per year. These are the kind of results that people can achieve through this model, and it's a great way to get ahead in life and get ahead financially. So you have 2 options right now. The first option is to be like the 200 million people who are living paycheck to paycheck in the US, just barely getting by, making just enough to cover their expenses, and really not getting ahead in life. And also, the average debt per household in the US is around $155,000. This is a lot of debt, and this puts you far behind financially, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you have all these debts that need to be paid off as well. It's going to be very, very hard for you to get ahead financially without making some kind of change to your income. And then you have option number 2, where you can join our community, start getting interviews for remote jobs, start taking on multiple remote jobs. You can see this person here in the right-hand corner. They are making $183,000 per year. This is way more than the average income. And this is going to help you to get ahead financially so that you can break free of the living paycheck to paycheck cycle. So join us now and change your life. The Leverage community is the perfect place to be if you want to get ahead financially and achieve a lifestyle of freedom.